But Dad, it's not fair. Then my money will be less. How does the bank get so much money that they can also give us money?
That is known as their net interest income, NII.
So Dad, what's the difference between SIP and investment?
You can do SIP in equity funds also, or you can do into fixed income also. But generally people do SIP in equity mutual funds. So when you take it out in long term, your risk will reduce.
Hello everyone, I'm Vedarth. So in our first episode, we learned budgeting of our pocket money. And in our second episode, we learned about investment and risks. And in this episode, we will learn where to invest. So Dad, you told me that there are two types of investments, fixed income and equity. So according to where should I invest?
See, it depends on your risk profile, how much risk you want to take. So when we invest, it depends on number of parameters. One is risk, कि how much risk you are okay to take.
Okay.
Second is time horizon, that for how much time you want to invest the money.
Okay.
Third is taxation.
Taxation. Dad,
Taxation means taxation is different for different asset classes.
why Dad?
Why? Because government feel that there are certain avenues which should be taxed at different rate and others should be taxed at different rate.
So Dad, you mean that I have to give extra money for my investment?
You don't have to pay money, but whatever money you earn, on that money you have to give a part to the government. That's known as taxation.
But Dad, it's not fair. Then my money will be less for me. But I need more money.
So we all need more money, but if we don't give money to government, how will we get new roads? How will we get good colleges?
Oh Dad, that's very great. But Dad, so you mean that how much percentage of money should I give to the government?
That you can't decide, that government will decide. So government will tell how much money you need to give to the government.
So Dad, can you tell me an example of any investment which you have already
Sure.
invested?
Sure. So let's say you invest 100 rupees in an FD,
What's an FD?
fixed deposit. So
Oh.
fixed deposit means you give money to the bank,
It is fixed.
it's fixed. So you get a fixed rate of return on fixed deposit.
So what is the difference between fixed deposit and fixed income?
So fixed deposit is a kind of fixed income.
Okay.
Okay. So you give 100 rupees to the bank, they
Okay.
grow that money. So they tell you ki against 100 rupees, you will get 110 rupees after a year.
So Dad, where
First
does...
let me complete.
Okay.
So you earn 10 rupees, correct? So government will say out of this 10 rupees, you give 2 rupees, 3 rupees or 1 rupee to me. That is taxation on
Okay.
your income. Now you ask me what you were asking.
But Dad, how does the bank get so much money that they can also give us money?
Great. So what bank does? Bank gives money as a loan to other people. So I'll give you one example. If they give you 10 rupees on 100 rupees,
Yes.
they will give that 100 rupees to somebody else and they will
Okay.
take 112 rupees from that person.
Okay.
So net on net, they will make 12 minus 10, 2 rupees.
Oh.
That is known as their net interest income, NII.
So Dad, could you make a flowchart so I can understand what happens?
Sure, I'll do that. So let's see how bank works. So let's say there is one boy named Ganak who needs money. He always needs money, correct? Then there is a more responsible one whose name is Vedarth, who says that Dad help me to invest my money. Correct? So they both go to bank,
Okay.
but bank says I don't have money.
Oh.
So Vedarth goes and Vedarth gives money to the bank. And bank gives the same money to
Ganak.
Kanak.
Okay.
But then how will bank make money? So bank takes money on less rate.
Meaning?
Less rate means कि they will give less money to Vedarth, but they will take more money from Ganak. I'll give you one example.
But Dad, Ganak needs money.
Yes, correct. Just listen to me. So Vedarth gave 100 rupees to the bank.
Okay.
And bank gave 100 rupees to Ganak.
Okay.
After 1 year, Vedarth will get 110 rupees from the bank
How?
through interest, but Ganak will get 112 rupees.
Why?
So Ganak will pay 112 rupees to the bank and Vedarth will get 110 rupees.
Okay.
So bank gave 10 rupees over here extra and it got 12 rupees over here. So net on net bank made 12 minus 10?
2 rupees.
2 rupees. So this is how bank works. So this is FD, fixed deposit, and this is loan. Now you got it?
So Dad, like fixed deposit, what other things are in fixed income?
Great. So in fixed income, you have got government securities, like you
Okay.
give money to the government and government will give you interest.
Okay.
Okay. Then there are corporate bonds. So
What's
corporate bonds. So like in fixed deposit, you give money to bank. In government
Okay.
securities, you give money to government.
Okay.
In corporate bonds, you give money to companies.
Okay.
So like Wealthy Nivesh, if they need money, they will take money and they will pay interest. That's known as
Okay.
corporate bonds.
So Dad, how do the corporate people get the money? Do they get from the government?
So
For
they
the
float
interest?
their bonds. They can
Flow?
get from government also. So like
Okay.
government has some agencies through which it gives money to the corporate. Then they can also get it from the banks. But
By loans.
by loans, or they can float their bonds.
What's
So
in
bonds
bond?
bonds is like an FD only. They will say we will pay you this much interest for this much period, and then people will buy it. So typically institutes buy it.
What's an institute?
So institute is say there is a mutual fund house
Okay.
or there is LIC,
LIC.
Life
Yes,
Insurance Corporation, from where
Yes.
you buy your insurance.
Yes.
So they buy those bonds.
Okay. So Dad, what about equity? Are there sub things like in fixed income? There's fixed deposit. So is there any subjects in equity?
Yes, great question. So on fixed income, we have got fixed deposit, we have got bonds, and we have got government securities. Correct?
Okay.
On equity side, we have got direct equity, stocks.
Stocks.
Like you buy shares of a company. It is known as equity or stock. Now you may say कि I don't know which company to buy. Correct?
Yes.
Because it involves lots of technical work. You need to
Yes.
see how is the corporate governance of the company, how is the profit, how is the loss. And otherwise you may end up investing into businesses like your shop in last Garba, correct? Where there was loss. So to ensure that we don't end up investing into loss-making companies, we invest through mutual funds.
Okay.
Okay? So in mutual fund there will be a fund manager who will take money from you
Okay, Dad.
and he will invest on your behalf.
Okay.
And then whatever returns come, he will take some fee and he will pay it back to you.
But Dad, are there some investors who just take the money and keep with them?
Who just?
Keep the money of yours and keep with them.
No, so then they won't be investors, na? They will be borrowers.
Okay.
Investor is one who invests the money.
Okay.
So if you are giving money to somebody, then he becomes borrowers or business partner.
Okay. But
Correct? Now in mutual funds also, there are both kinds of category. Fixed income also and equity also.
okay.
So if you want to invest into fixed income, you can invest in fixed income mutual funds.
Oh,
Or if you want to invest into equity mutual funds, you can invest into
equity.
equity mutual funds.
So Dad, can you give me an example of somebody who is an investor?
So you are an investor, you started your SIP on your birthday, correct?
Yes, Dad.
So you are an investor.
Okay.
So just to let you know, guys, when we started this series, we named it "How I Talk About Finance, About Money to My 10 Years Old Kid." By the time this episode will be live, Vedarth will already be 11 years old. And as a gift for his birthday this time, he asked me that, Dad, I want to start an SIP in my name. So that's what we started for him, and I think it's going to be the best birthday gift for him for this birthday.
So, Dad, what's the difference between SIP and investment?
So SIP is a form of investment only. SIP is a tool to invest. It's known as systematic investment plan.
Oh,
So what happens over there? You tell your bank that out of my account, this much money should go into this mutual fund every month.
okay.
So it keeps on accumulating. So like when we discussed about your example of
Garba.
cycle bell,
Cycle, yes.
correct? Where you were saving money every month.
Yes.
So how it works in case of SIP, you will pass on 75 rupees every month to SIP.
Yes.
It will keep on growing, and then as and when you require it, you can take it out.
Okay. But Dad, are there equity and fixed income in SIPs?
Yes. So you can do SIP in any kind of fund. You can do SIP in equity funds also, or you can do into fixed income also. But generally, people do SIP in equity mutual funds.
But Dad, I don't have any idea of my SIP. Could you tell me?
So for you, we did a large cap, mid cap, and small cap SIP.
Dad, what is the meaning of mid cap, large cap, and I think it's a cap, yes? That we
There
wear.
is no cap. No. So it's a market capitalization.
Oh,
So it depends on your market value. So if your market value is high, you come in large cap. If your market value is not so high, you come in mid cap. If it's small, then it comes in small cap.
so
What we did, listen to me first now. So what we did, so there is a large cap fund which will invest into large cap companies only. So some part of your money is going into large cap mutual fund.
okay.
Some part of your money is going into those mutual funds which invest into mid cap only.
Okay.
And of course, some part is going into those mutual funds which are investing into small cap.
So Dad, what are the difference between this small cap, large cap?
So like there is value for everything, correct?
Yes.
So if you want to buy a pen,
Yes.
there is a price to it, correct?
Yes.
Similarly, if you want to buy a company, there will be some value to it.
Yes.
So those companies who are top 100 in their value, they are
Value
known
means
as large
their
cap.
respect.
Not respect only, in their monetarily value.
Oh,
So top 100 companies consist large cap.
okay.
After that, next 150 companies means mid cap.
Okay.
And every company beyond 250 is a small cap.
Okay. So Dad, what if I give 1000 to a small cap? What will happen?
So that money, most of the money will go into a small cap because 65% of the money of a small cap fund needs to go into a small cap companies only. And that fund manager will decide.
Okay. So Dad, have you kept my money in equity or fixed income?
In equity only.
But Dad, if there's a loss?
Great. So what happens in the market when you invest into equities? It's a volatile asset class. It will keep on going up and down. Correct? So to lessen that risk, to reduce that risk, we invest it for long term because in long term it will average out.
Okay.
So sometime it was going up, sometime it was going down. So when you take it out in long term, your risk will reduce.
So, but Dad, how does the market go up and down?
So there can be numbers of reasons. So one reason can be sentimental, like you are not feeling good about a business.
Like,
So say you feel now people will drink more coffee than tea.
yes,
So those companies which make tea, they will suffer,
yes,
correct? So this is company specific.
okay,
Then there can be something which is market specific also.
okay,
So market is specific, let's say there is war between India and Pakistan.
okay,
So people will think because of war, economy will suffer.
yes, because
So whole market will suffer.
because there will be no transport of
Yes, yes.
supplies.
There will be more spending on defense, etc., etc.
So, Dad, does it also happen like if my favorite team I'm supporting for it and it gets less support, that means they will suffer?
Yes,
In
yes,
sports?
yes. Yes. So, like in sports, like you said, so in markets also, if money is going more into a company,
Yes.
its share price will rise.
So, if more money is going in more companies than 50% of the companies, then that means there will be a profit?
No. So this is not about profit. So this is about supply of money. So if people start investing more money into one company,
Okay.
then that company's share price will skyrocket, will increase.
So, how will the market go for just one company?
No, I'm not saying for one company only. I'm just giving you an example.
Okay.
So as to say, those companies where money is going more into investment, where people are investing more of their money,
Yes.
those companies' share price will increase.
So, Dad, market means the local market, right? Where
No,
there are
no.
shops.
Market means equity market. Equity market means where your shares are bought and sold.
So, the market is different for every company.
Yes. No. So market is not different for every company. There are number of markets. So there is Bombay Stock Exchange, there is National Stock Exchange, where companies get listed and they buy and their shares are bought and sold.
Okay, Dad. So, Dad, why do you talk to a client and say today there will be no transaction because the market is off?
Yes. So so that's because on those days market is closed and there is no buying and selling happening in the market.
Okay.
Correct?
Yes.
So in this episode, we learned about how to invest in fixed income into equities, what are the different tools through which we can invest into them, and we also learned about taxation, and we also learned about stock markets and how stock markets go up and down. In next episode, we will discuss in detail about how taxation work for different kinds of investment. So hope to see you guys all over there, and please help us in spreading this series by sharing it on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn, etc., etc. Thank you.
Bye everyone. Meet you in the next episode.